Good morning. It's really lovely to have you all here, and welcome to some new faces or names. I'm really honored that you're giving up your time every morning to work on yourself a little bit. I always feel that on this path, my path is one of service also. And as much as I can do physically to help people, my mother and I, we work a lot in care homes and hospitals, not work, volunteer. Um, as much as I can help practically, I feel like I'm seeing so many people still struggling. So I'm trying to give the tools that I have learned so that you can also help yourselves on a day-to-day basis to feel happier and calmer and more joyful. So I really appreciate the time that you're giving every day to work on yourselves, because I know it's not just the 15 minutes that we're doing here, it's your homework also, which I hope that you're able to do, because that's really the most important part of it. The more time and effort and concentration and focus you put in, aside from what I'm teaching here in these little snippets, you will get better results. So, as always, I'd like you to begin by finding with your palm on your chest or your rib cage or your abdomen, finding where the breath is moving through the body. You can take a couple of deep breaths if you can't feel it very strongly. Actually, it's always good to take a couple of deep breaths anyway at the beginning, just to get your breath to settle. Ideally, if we close the eyes, that's also better, but some people are not comfortable with that in the beginning, that's also fine. And now we can take our hands away from the body and just continue to be aware of where the breath is moving. And for those who've been following along every day, as I mentioned yesterday, we now take our attention to the nose and the air passing in and out of the nostrils. Those who are new, who've just joined, or who haven't maybe had a chance to catch up on the YouTube videos, because I do record these sessions and put them on YouTube. And I would suggest to watch those first so you know what we're doing, and maybe also do them maybe 2 a day to catch up so that you have time to do the homework as well and get your attention focused gradually. So bringing your attention to the air passing in and out of the nostrils. Now I'm going to yap away for a little while, so you can open your eyes or close them, whichever you prefer, while I talk a little bit, but I would like you to keep that concentration while I'm talking. Maintain your awareness of the air as it moves in and out of the nose, the inner walls of the nose. It could be anywhere in this entire region on the inside. So we're working on the breath, but I've also been trying to help you understand the way the mind works and eventually the correlation between the two and how they can help you. And I wonder if some of you might remember more than others, perhaps when you were at school and the teacher is talking and you're there in the class, you're in front of the teacher is talking, but for the last minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, you have no idea what the teacher said because you were what they call daydreaming. Your mind was off somewhere, maybe thinking about playing a ball game with your friends or something, maybe even thinking about your family, your parents, or maybe a holiday that's coming up, or maybe even a holiday that you went to, or something else, anything that you'd rather be doing than sitting in school and listening to the teacher. And that's what they would say, daydreaming, right? but it also happens in our adult lives. And very often, very commonly, we're having a conversation with someone, someone is talking to us, and we might not have got exactly what they said because our minds, even if we're trying to listen, sometimes our minds have slipped off somewhere. And more often than not, when somebody is talking to us, our minds are running through pictures and thoughts, maybe judgment, maybe just pictures, maybe just thoughts about what they're saying. But have you ever thought about what it might be like to listen to someone and not have a single thought come in your mind and just listen to them with absolute clarity, no thoughts, no judgment, and how healing that may be for the other person, especially if they're talking to you about something personal. And if it's in a work situation, imagine how effective that would make your business and your work if you really paid attention to every word that the other person was saying. And other times when we daydream, perhaps could be this has happened to me, and I think it's also happened to some others here. You may be driving, you may be sitting at the traffic lights, and all of a sudden you hear a hoot, someone beeping behind you, and you're just like, oh my God, what happened? Because you weren't even aware that the lights had changed. You were lost in thought, deep in some memory, and then you're jolted back to the present moment. It could be when you're reading a book. It could be when you're watching TV. I mean, how many times have you maybe nowadays we can rewind? We couldn't rewind back in the day. But how many times have you been able to, have you rewound live TV or something to go, oh, what happened? I was lost in thought. Or you're reading and the eyes are moving along the words of the book or a chapter, and then it hasn't really gone in, and then you have to go back a couple of pages or a couple of sentences or paragraphs and reread. And sometimes you reread and reread and reread, and it still takes a while for your mind to be absolutely present. So these are the things that we need to be a little bit more aware of, that, oh, this is my mind doing what it does when it's untrained. So we're hoping to continue to train the mind, and in these sessions, we're just doing it by beginning to anchor ourselves in the breath. So keep breathing. Keep paying attention to the feeling of the breath coming in and out of the nose. Where it touches the inner walls of the nose. Maybe become aware how the air going in is cooler than the air coming out as that air is warmed by the body. And if you have any thoughts or pictures or distractions presenting on your inner eye, that's okay, just ignore them. Just come back to that feeling of the breath coming in and out of the nose. And when you're ready, if you haven't already, I'd like you to focus on 3 breaths. 3 breaths, 3 consecutive breaths at a time with absolute focus. Then you can take a quick break. You can take a deep breath or just stop. Let one breath grow, skip it, and start again. 3 breaths at a time with absolute focus. If any thoughts come in the way, if you forget that you are focusing on the breath, it's okay. Just very gently bring your attention back to the breath. And when you're practicing later in the day and you find this is happening, don't be frustrated with yourself. Just bring your attention back very gently. What I've noticed in the past when I was trying to meditate in the beginning, the first even couple of years, I think, I used to get really frustrated with myself, like, ugh, every time I found my mind wandered off. And I realized the way I approached life and the way I approached meditation were very similar. And when I stopped chiding myself and stopped getting frustrated with myself for not being able to achieve something or do something, and I had that, oh, I can't do it attitude, when I switched that off and I just gently kept bringing my attention back without any thoughts, without any judgment against myself, when I did that in meditation, it transferred into my life and it made things so much simpler and so much smoother. So just remember that whenever you feel your mind going off into thoughts, no judgment, nothing to think about, no feeling or emotion about it, just go, okay, the mind has wandered off, no problem. Just bring it back to the breath. And now homework, which is the most important part of what we're doing here, because that's what's really going to set you on that path of transformation, deep transformation. So I'd like you to continue being aware of the breath throughout the day as much as possible. I'd like you to continue to sit for a minute multiple times a day and do the 3 breaths, just focusing on 3 breaths. Get that really, really sharp focus for about a minute. 3 breaths, 3 breaths, 3 breaths. And to make things easier, perhaps when you're going about your day, because in the beginning we may remember once a day, oh, I was supposed to breathe. I was supposed to remember the feeling of the breath in the nostrils. So there are little, perhaps, mindfulness triggers you could do, little reminders. So you may want to use your phone. You may want to set a little alarm on your phone, maybe every hour. So as soon as a little ding goes off on your phone every hour, just remind yourself, you don't have to sit down and meditate or focus at that point, but whatever you're doing, going about your day, cooking, eating, bathing, sleeping, walking, working, doing something creative, whatever you're doing, just remember, oh, okay, I have to breathe. Be aware of the breath. You may want to go old school and get some post-it notes and stick them maybe on your bathroom mirror. So while you're brushing your teeth, be aware. While you're cooking, maybe you can put them around the kitchen. Anywhere where you feel, even on your computer, if you're working, a little post-it note or something, just breathe. So you give yourself little reminders and see if that helps, and see if you can increase today the number of times that you remember to come back to the breath. So sitting, focus, concentration, first thing in the morning if you can, before you get out of bed, multiple times throughout the day if you can, and the last thing at night before you can. That's for 1 minute. And then the rest of the time, as much as you can remember, just remember to breathe. I hope that was helpful. And I hope you have a really good day, a really peaceful day today, whatever you're doing. Sending you lots and lots and lots and lots of love. And I will see some of you soon. And yeah, have a lovely day. And the rest of you I will see here tomorrow at 8 a.m. And just so you know, I think some of you know, but maybe not, we are doing these sessions live on Zoom. And some of you may miss a lesson for any reason, and that's absolutely fine, no problem. So I'm recording the sessions and they are going on YouTube. So if you can't make it one day, that's fine. You can go on there whenever you have time and you can catch up. And also, if you feel anyone will benefit from this, not the Zoom link, because this is just for people that I know really well who I'm connected with, but the YouTube ones you can share with them, and hopefully they can start the same path also and benefit from it. So lots and lots of, oh, Maria's asking what channel. I will ask Anna to send you over the link. Yeah? Okay. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.